Let's talk about how we look after ourselves, our well-being in ministry and life. Three areas I want to look at is learning to know yourself. The second is setting good boundaries. And the third is setting good habits. So the first one, learning to know who you are. We can look at this from a Christian anthropological, that's a fun word, point of view, where we look at, who are we as a creature? We have a body, we have a mind, a soul, all these sorts of things. Some of us have bad breath, some of us, you get it. So we're a complex thing. There's many parts to us, but all of them speak to each other. We're not separated. We're not this dualistic thing. We're not part this, part that, part mind, part body. They all communicate with each other. So knowing that as our groundwork can help us to build in good boundaries and habits. So let's talk about boundaries. So it's always good. People find boundaries a bit of a daunting, scary thing to do. They don't want to upset people when they lay out boundaries. But what I found over time, and I think, look, I'm not the expert, but I think experts would agree, is that laying good, healthy boundaries provides better workplace and home and all sorts of different things. It really helps all these relationships. So in your boundary setting, make sure that you're always setting time for you where you'll be able to relax, do that bit of self-care, get your nails done and the girls too, read a good book or whatever. The other one is make sure you plan out your boundaries. Like it's not always great to, set a boundary on the fly where you just decide in the moment, hey, look, no, I can't do that right now, because I'm going to go. I have these other commitments. So planning out your boundaries in advance is a good thing, because the more we can provide clear expectations, the more people can work around that, and then they can alter their plans. And then the other one is have courage to say no, especially if you really need to. Saying no, like there's that element of Christian charity, where we always want to be like, oh, I'm here to serve. And serving is a great thing, but we have to be, serving out of, our capacity, which, when that's centered on Christ and we have the time to, fall back and recenter on Christ, that's where we can serve. But if we're serving out of exhaustion, then something's gone wrong, because, it's not all just a spiritual practice. It incorporates our body, it incorporates our lives, our mental health. So think about these sorts of things, and then develop a regularity in your routine. So know when you do your particular things, like your work hours and this and then the other. And then when you build up that regularity, people begin to know and see, okay, look, I know that at this particular time, such and such go straight home, that they have their family commitments after work. And so what that helps people to do is, set meetings at different time, and it helps them to know that they need to get things done before you go and that sort of thing. So it's good to have good, healthy boundaries. And then what we want to look at is, so boundaries are kind of like the no's. It's like, don't do it's like these are the areas where I need my space, and habits are the things we're going to do. Although boundaries are also proactive. But when we're building good habits, we're building in things that are going to build and grow all of those different elements of who we are: the mental health, the physical health, the spiritual health. So one good thing is to develop healthy friendships, healthy relationships, connect with family, friends, and other leaders, engage in activities that bring you joy, take up a hobby. If you don't have one, then start to work out what you like. What can you do that's refreshing for you? Big one, important one, go to bed, turn off your phone, get enough sleep, get some dark curtains if you need to, if you need to go into deeper sleeps or whatever. Sometimes if you don't have good sleep habits, and then you try to go to sleep at a reasonable hour, kind of throws you off and you feel weird in the morning and it's no fun. But developing sleep habits is that it's a habit, and habits take time to develop and grow. So if you're trying to develop those habits and you're finding that you're failing or that it's not working or that sort of thing, try being a little bit more persistent, do a bit more research if you need to. But, habits are something that we need to develop. Another good one is just to practice gratitude, to always practice thanksgiving, to praise others and to praise God. That's always a good outward exercise. Often our thoughts and stuff can be quite inward. Oh, what am I doing now? What do I need to do before this happens, or all that sort of thing? Or how did I do that? Were people looking at me? So when we become quite inward, that we can fall into areas of, self-judgment, or where we can get into a bit of a dark place. So doing things that are more outward focused are really helpful. Praising others, praising God. Take a break from tech, social media. Have a no TV, no screen night every once in a while. Try those sorts of things. Try not to have your phone always glued against you. If there's a moment where you can leave it for an hour or two, switch it off. Go leave it. And then probably one of the most important things is to pray often. And, building a good, healthy habit means we have to plan. So every time we build any habit, we've got to take the time, we're going to decide what we're going to do, why we're going to do it, how it's going to help us. And so particularly with prayer, if we don't carve out time for that relationship with God, then he's going to miss out. And that's something that we really want to foster and grow together.